What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Creature Cast, the official Console Creatures podcast. I'm your host today, Steve Egvari. Alongside me, oh my goodness, is that Astro Bot himself? No, it's Bobby. Come on. How are you doing, Bobby?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing really well.
This is two of the millions you're going to be collecting this week, everybody. But
oh my goodness, so many little bots.
I guess off the top, we all kind of know what we're talking about. I know I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just got back from New York City. I was there for a brisk 24 hours. Got some pizza, got some pasta there. Did a little bit of fun stuff, but yeah, no, I'm super stoked to be here. I mean, obviously, you guys all clicked on the episode, so you know what you guys are getting into. It's our Astro Bot review, our full review of the game. Thanks to PlayStation for sending us each codes to try it out. But no, I'm super stoked for this. I know earlier this summer we actually both got to go hands-on with the game.
Yep.
I think we were both pretty positive on our experience. It was like a roughly, one hour vertical slice of the game, giving us a taster of what the full game would offer. But now that we got the full vision, the full scope of the game, I'm actually really excited to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get into it?
I want to start by saying I'm not only am I ready, I'm re-energized after playing Astro Bot. We obviously can't talk about it on social media, but Astro Bot re-energized my soul. I actually feel like a new person after playing Astro Bot. And I feel like I can give this team no other compliment than that. I felt like a kid for the first time in years. So yeah, I'm ready to talk about this game. It is probably one of the best things I've ever played.
That's great. No, actually, I'm just going to throw it over to you. I mean, you already started, but yeah, top level thoughts. Like, how long? Have you beaten it? How long did it take you to beat? And then yeah, just keep going. Expound on all of that. Like, how are you feeling about it?
So I'm not 100% done yet.
Okay.
I'd say I'm about 70% of the way. The only reason I didn't finish it this weekend and I didn't platinum it like you and Matt is because Black Ops 6 ended up taking up my whole weekend. It was a lot better than I anticipated. I didn't expect to hit level 20 in Black Ops beta, but I mean, we all know that once a game clicks with you, you want to stick with it, and that's what it did. But I was balancing Black Ops beta and Astro Bot, and in the end, Astro Bot has my heart. I mean, as much as I like Black Ops, this game is like I was like, well, I can't play any more Black Ops. Astro Bot has been in my queue since day one. I've been playing it nonstop. It is so well done. It is so meticulously crafted. It is so made with love that, I mean, you cannot play this game and feel even a morsel of like sadness. It exudes happiness. It is happiness incarnate, I feel like. And this is something I feel like the world needs right now, is this game. Astro Bot is like a game that can change the world, I feel. And I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I mean, I've played it, you've played it.
Yep.
It stirs something in you when you're playing this game. I didn't expect to feel so like childlike playing this game. That's kind of what it was. It kind of brought me back to that sense of Super NES, playing Super Mario World, playing Yoshi's Island, playing, Contra, games like that. They were just feel good games.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm sad that I'm probably nearly done the game. But I feel like it's earned a permanent spot on my console. I'm not taking it off my console. If it's there, if I ever need it, I'm going to just go back and play it. I'm going to keep up to date with all the speedrun challenges. I am obsessed with this game. Like that's basically where I am right now with this game.
Mm-hmm.
It is almost game of the year for me. If FF7 Rebirth didn't launch this year, I think this would have been this is my game of the year. There's no competing with this game.
Yeah.
It's too good. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's this it's not even a product. It's oh god, how do we describe it? I don't even know. It's just this whole, it's this beam of light that shines down on my house because I'm playing this game. It's like rays from God come flying into my window, and it's just Astro Bot saving his friends. That's how I can describe this game. It is holy.
It's a little bit of a religious experience. It's very
It is. I
cathartic.
feel like so that it is. Yeah. I feel more enlightened playing this game, and that's a rarity these days.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think, this game is such a win, like a bona fide win, not only for PlayStation, not only for Team Asobi, but I
For the
think
medium,
for
the medium.
the medium and especially the players, like, players who have been following PlayStation for 30 years now. This game just honors that history. It honors the legacy of the console, the legacy of the brand, the legacy of the characters, and really encapsulates where platformers have
Yeah.
gone and have been, since, you're talking about like those early SNES days. And I would say like closer to, Super Mario World on the N64. That's where I put myself, is sitting there in front of my TV at the time, my CRT TV, and just unlocking all the stars, exploring all the secrets, getting into this like
Yeah.
real like this curated world where every little meticulous detail mattered. And that's exactly what Team Asobi kind of replicated. Was like there's no asset, there's no level, there's no moment that feels like it's just ham-fisted in there. It all feels very deliberate. It all feels very tight, cohesive. It all comes together in such a miraculous way. For me, so I've played, beaten the game, got 100% of the trophies, platinumed it. It took me about 12 hours to do so. I
Yeah.
know Matt, who was also going to join, couldn't, just due to personal circumstances. But I do want to give him the shout out that, he's the first person that I know of that platinum the
Yep.
game. I know a couple other friend of the show, Riley Little, did. Aaron Caboose has also done it, and we've, just been talking to each other and kind of like, hyping each other up of like, okay, this is how you figure out this little secret, or this is how you unlock this little trophy, because there are so many cool secrets and nods and just real like really great meaningful stuff to go
Yep.
through. But I think yeah, as well as great as all of that is, as great as all the character cameos and all the Easter eggs and all of that is, Astro Bot is just like one of the best platformers I think I've ever played, within a 3D space. I think it's super tight. I mean, it doesn't trail too far from what we've all experienced from Astro's Playroom, but I think
Right.
that it's a meaningful sequel. It feels like, yes, they took that bare bones approach that we all know from that packed in experience for PlayStation
Mhm.
5, and just expanded on it, made it bigger, made it bolder, made everything more meaningful, and just gave us more of what we wanted. And you know, it's so funny because Astrobot, I mean, has been around. It's been around, whether it's VR, this pseudo tech demo, that is Astro's Playroom, and then now I'm convinced that like PlayStation has just been sitting on one of the best characters, for the past like what, 7, 8 years now.
They have.
He
They
is
have.
so charming. He's such a lovable like character. He does it. He only emotes, and that's all he does. But I think that like by the end of it, I'm championing for this little dude. I'm championing for his friends. The,
Yep.
the PlayStation 5 is a goddamn character in this game where I'm like, oh my god, you're like there are moments that I'm just like I'm wooed, and you're talking about that childlike wonder, and I'm just sitting there this entire time smiling from ear to ear. I'm laughing.
It's
I'm
amazing.
getting hyped. There's so many emotions that draw back again to my childhood. And yeah, kudos to Team Asobi for doing that. You're talking about, game of the year potential, and I'm right there with you. I struggle to think what other experiences could give me that could resonate with me like that.
And that's the thing. It's the only reason it's not game of the year is because it launched the same year as FF7 Rebirth, and that game is special in its own right. I mean, and it has that history, right? So if Astrobot had that history, I feel like it would have been game of the year for a lot of people. But it probably still it's a very good contender for that. But like that's not what's important right now. The more important thing I'm noticing is just you come in for this game and there are no expectations. You kind of know what you're getting into from the beginning, and Team Asobi just doubles down on what made Astro's Playroom really good and expand on everything. Everything is just so much better. Even the control feels more tight. It feels responsive, even more responsive, I would say, than what Astro's Playroom offers. And then it is the most. I don't even want to describe it. It's the most amazing. It's amazing. It's the way they implement the DualSense technology. There's nothing else that's come close to it. There's no other game that's available on PlayStation, even on PC, where that can emulate what the DualSense technology does, and it really elevates the core experience because it really makes you feel you're part of every level that you're going through. So if you're going through the rain, obviously we know what the rain feels like, but they
Mhm.
now it's just even better because the controller got that the update a couple months ago where the speaker just sounds more clear. It sounds more definitive, and the technology's improved from 2020 to 2024. I mean, I feel the controller feels it's a lot more haptic. Like everything feels
Okay.
it's more minute. Like you can feel the raindrops even more than in previous game because I was playing Astro Playroom a couple weeks ago, and it felt good. But then I compare it to this, and it's like, well, this is a lot better. And then you get stuff like the electrical stuff. You get the glass shards where you're walking on. You can feel the glass cracking in the controller. You can feel the fire coming at Astro from some of the enemies. You can feel all these elements from the controller, and it's unreal that Team ASOBI is the only one who's able to crack the code of how to implement, touch
Mhm.
in a game like this.
Yeah.
And
No,
it really does
I
amazing. Yeah, it's great. It's just amazing. That's what kind of re-energized me is just the touch element. It's unreal.
Yeah. I I feel you, and I think from a haptic standpoint, I totally agree. Like it'll never get old feeling Astro's little feet running around the dual sense, or like
Yep.
you're saying, like stuff like smashing through glass, or just small little micro moments throughout the game.
Some of the pedals. We later
Yeah.
stage you have some really cool pedal feedback in the controller.
Yeah, where
Yeah,
I kind of was a little disappointed, and I know like realistically, there's only so much you can do with the dual sense.
yeah,
It's just the adaptive triggers where I was like, "Okay, now we got the frog hands where you're, extending your fist like
yeah,
boxing gloves and stuff like that." It's like, "Okay, now that's another adaptive trigger thing where you feel the resistance." But then there's also the monkey hands where you can, like, slam the ground. That's another just a resistance-based thing on the adaptive triggers, and I was like, this doesn't feel too much different than what I experienced from Astro's Playroom. It
right.
feels almost like one to one, like I'm just kind of receiving the same kind of feedback. So
Yeah,
there's only so much that I know Team Asobi can do, but that's the only thing I kind of uh,
yeah. Which is
resonated with me. Yeah.
which is fair. I mean, like that's. I mean, like we said, there's only so much you can do with resistance, but it's the effects of in the levels, like we said, like the water, the ice, the breeze. You can feel the controller reacting to it, and that's way cooler than I feel the resistance to me.
Totally. Like
So,
him skating on ice. That
oh,
that
it's so
feels so
satisfying.
nice. It actually feels like, for some reason, some strange, like, weird brain thing where it
Yep,
actually feels like I'm playing with ice in my hands.
yep, and that's exactly what I felt, and it was just like, yep, they've nailed the ASMR. I've never wanted in a game more than an Astro Bot is ASMR, which is great. But yeah, no, I mean, there's just so much to love about this game. Like even like we're saying, we're talking the controllers, the haptics. What I ended up loving the most is I loved the world setup. I love the hubs. I loved how you approach the hubs, what the hubs offer to you, how you find secrets in the hubs. Like it's just so natural, and it plays so well to Astro's strengths of just being like a curious little robot who just wants to do good for the world, and he's always finding it in the universe as he's going from level to level to level.
Yeah, well,
And yeah,
let's talk about that. Because I think, again, we're talking about Team Asobi expanding on everything that
yep,
Playroom was. In Astro Bot, yeah, you've got, 6 main galaxies to kind of explore. Each one has a series of levels to go through. There's 80 in total, and then in each one, in typical Astro Bot fashion, you're rescuing a whole bunch of bots. I think in the game there's just over 300, half of which are kind of generic white Astro looking
yep,
bots, but then there's also 150 that are just pure Easter egg cameo galore. If you're a fan of, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate like I am, and you're just love seeing like different crossovers and stuff like that. This scratches that itch tenfold. Like you'll go like without necessarily spoiling a whole lot, because I think that there are some genuine surprises and stuff like that that I think players should experience themselves. Like just the fact of going through and just seeing Joel and Ellie inspired bots and seeing them interact with Astro Bot, or we'd see it in the trailers, like the Kratos and Atreus. I think that's so cool. And again, pays homage to everything that PlayStation has done over 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. And then there are some deep cuts. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know how far we want to go with spoilers, but I mean, this one I don't even know if it's really too deep, but it's like a deep cut for me. There's one bot that's from Wild Arms. I don't know if anybody here has played Wild Arms. It's one of the earliest JRPG series on PlayStation, and seeing the first character, one of the collectibles was cool. But he was the guy with basically had the red, I guess like a open shirt, and he had like a red bandana.
Yeah.
And he's from Wild Arms, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I was like, they got him. I'm like, I think his name was Rudy.
Okay.
But he was one of the first protagonists I ever played in 1995. It was and it was just a deep cut. But then you see some of the other stuff, and it's like, whoa. And I know when we interviewed Nicholas, like he was mentioning some of the stuff, and I had that Leo DiCaprio moment. I was like, that's what he's talking about.
Yep.
And you see them, you're like, wow, like these are some really deep cuts from 30 years ago that I don't know anyone's going to know, but now I'm curious to follow through, because I know he mentioned a couple of them, and I was like, Ribbit Rider, and I'm like, okay. I ended up downloading a copy on my Vita of all places, so there you go. So now I want to check it out. But yeah, it's just stuff like that. It's stuff like that. Like you find things from this bygone era, and it's just like, well, now I want to know what it is. Like I love that about this game.
Absolutely, because yeah, obviously you have your mainstays. PlayStation props up its properties and stuff like that. So there are so many like obvious inclusions if you just know PlayStation and know its first party offering, that if you can think it, most likely it's going to be in there. But yeah, you're talking about the deep cuts going all the way back to the PlayStation 1, or even some of the partnering stuff where I was like, oh my God, you got this one? Wow, that's really impressive. Like there was, again, I don't want to spoil any because it is just kind of fun to naturally go through. But I was like, oh my God, like and then it's so surreal seeing how they're inspired and kind of designed in this Astro Bot world. It's so cool to see. The other thing that I really loved was you have this kind of like hub world called the crash site, which is where like you're rebuilding the PlayStation 5 piece by piece. Kind of, it's awesome. It's a great little hub world where you can interact with all the discovered bots and rescued bots and stuff. But in there you have the gotcha machine, which returns from Playroom, and as you're unlocking different like items from there, they all every single PlayStation character kind of has their own unique item and stuff like that. And once unlocked, you can kind of walk up to them and interact with them. And each one has their own unique interaction, and kind of not a cutscene or anything like that, but it's just kind of this like this interaction with them. Like I don't want to spoil it at all, but just the Ryu from Street Fighter 1, it had me smiling. And yeah, just going up to even, and you're talking about, deep cut characters. The characters I didn't even know. I was like, I don't know who the hell you are, but whatever. I'm just interacting with them, seeing what they're doing with Astro Bot. It's just kind of cool to see, and kind of, again, it's this celebration of PlayStation.
Yeah, the only gripe I have with the PlayStation branded characters is they obviously don't use their actual name, but
that's so true. Yep,
it's true. But what would have been cool is to be like, well, hey, you unlock this character. Here's the game they're from and what era they're from. That would have been just a great way to be like, well, I want to know more about this character. So what game are they from?
That's so true, because in many cases, and I really do appreciate the art direction and everything that the team ASOBI brought to the table with this one. But there were certain characters where I was like, I don't really know who you are. Yeah. And then I go back and I'm like, oh, it was like, like Jin from Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't even know I unlocked him, because he was just kind of like this generic samurai. It didn't really feel like Ghost of Tsushima.
Same thing with Deacon from Days Gone. His was just like a motorcycle rider or something like that. I was like, oh.
And just the way that his hat was
Yeah.
designed in this game, where I was like, that doesn't look like him,
Yep.
but he's riding a motorcycle, so maybe. No,
Yeah,
I totally get it.
I think that's my only con in this game. The thing I didn't like is that it's just for going so far into PlayStation's past, there should have been like a museum kind of where they kind of just
Mm,
like even like a playable mode, like where you control Astrobot, and it's just what they did with Astro's Playroom. It has them that museum with all the bits and pieces from PlayStation era, and then you
yep.
just walk to one, and it shows here are all these games you could be that we featured. Here's where this character's from. You can watch a trailer, or here's a summary of what this game's about,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have just elevated everything to a new level. But I mean, whatever. Maybe in an update. Hopefully, that'd be really cool. I think that would probably like be one of the coolest things they could add. I feel.
No, I feel you. I do think that in terms of just discoverability and spotlighting certain characters, it does go a long way because my PlayStation history is super different from yours and super different from a lot of people, especially younger players who are going to start playing Astro Bot. Is that for them, if they like a specific character or they think that's really cool, then they either have to they almost have to go out of their way now to start learning about this, and whether or not even their parent, their partner, anything like that, that's just putting more barriers in its way. But aside from the characters, well, kind of parallel to those characters, and I don't. This is something I really don't want to get too in depth with. Were the curated hero levels that that Team ASOBI has put in, where each galaxy has this very curated, very structured, inspired level. I mean, we've seen it, we know of it. The God of War level for me was like incredible. Like people, no matter how much we like talk about it, hype it up, anything like that, it's a you have to experience it to believe it kind of thing. Where Team ASOBI has taken like not only just the visuals, the music, obviously the characters of being Kratos, but they just wrap it around this palette of Astro Bot and incorporate it in such a way that feels meaningful, that feels so well deserved. And going through it, I was like, I would play an entire game of just this, let alone the other ones that they incorporate into the game. But yeah, it was astonishing. It's having Astro play with the Leviathan axe. It's so cool, and it only happens in that level. That is a mechanic, that is a system that doesn't exist anywhere else. Team ASOBI just curated that, made it okay. We're making a God of War level. Let's go ratchet it up to 10, and I love that.
And it had everything you would want, or you didn't want. It's everything you see in God of War. Everything that was in that game, they replicated it to a T. And the remix of the God of War theme was just outstanding.
Oh my god,
it's amazing. I don't know how they did it, but like it's probably as good as the actual theme. So kudos to whoever did that, because it was just like, I don't know, it's like an earworm for me. It was just the earworm. I was just humming to myself the entire time I was playing, and I was like, "Yep, this is great. What else they got?"
I had such a visceral reaction to that song that was the moment where I was like, this is game of the year material. And not only because of that level specifically, but it was just getting to that level and knowing everything else before. But that was the moment where I was like, oh, they cooked with this. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly how to use their resources in such a creative way. And yeah, I cannot wait for them to release a record of just all the songs, put it on Spotify, 100%. Give me a print of this. Like I need the soundtrack to this game immediately.
I'm shocked actually that there's not even like a collector's edition for Astro Bot, because like honestly, I want one now. I want something with a soundtrack, and I want a statue of Astro Bot. I don't think there is. I don't think there's anything that was released or announced aside the controller. But it makes me want to just go out and buy Astro stuff. I love Astro. He's such a great character. It's like, why not?
Again, I mean, we're speculating and everything, but I just do wonder if it was kind of like a soft launch of seeing, okay, this is Astro's first retail launch, standalone feature, just being on a store shelf. Do we want to hold back before we start, going hard on merchandise. But I do have to assume that maybe there'll be like a limited run partnership to get out, a print of like a vinyl or something like that. Because again, I think that PlayStation is sitting on a treasure trove of just merchandise. Like you said, I want a statue. I would love a shirt. I like give it to me. I mean,
Yeah,
we got these little plushes. We got them for video
yeah,
the audience there, but I want more. I want to Astro it up because he's just
exactly.
such a lovable little dude.
It's kind of sad in one sense because Sackboy used to be the mascot for a bit, but I feel like he passed the torch to a pretty good character. So
Yeah,
I would love to see a future team up with Sackboy versus Astro Bot, or whatever they want to do. That would be a great game. I
that would be
hope
pretty
so.
nice.
But yeah, I mean, Astro Bot as a main character is makes sense. I'm actually glad that he exists, and he kind of fills a niche that Sony really didn't have. Right? I mean, what other platformers exist today that you could name off the top of your head that are triple A, high quality? There's very few games I could like. I can't even think of any that replicate this outside of Super Mario. There's nothing. There's no Jack and Daxter.
Nope.
There's Ratchet and Clank, but I mean that's different. So there's really nothing out there that stands toe to toe with this game outside of, like we said, Mario. And like if that going forward is the duo that we're getting, like I'm all for it. This is like such a rarity in games media. You never get a game of this caliber that I feel is going to resonate and bring people together.
No, that is so true because yeah, I really do struggle to think even how this game could be perceived as inaccessible to certain audiences. I don't mean physically accessible, but like I just don't know how you don't champion a
Yep.
game like this because yeah, 3D platformers are kind of a product of a bygone era. They're not as popular as they once
Yep.
were. So to see PlayStation kind of say, no, this is a first party endeavor. We're going
Yep.
all in on characters. We're going all in on console legacy. I don't know how you don't just back that up completely.
Yep. Exactly. There's literally no reason outside of being a negative Nancy, which is, if that's what you want to do, go be sad in the corner, but you're missing out on something that could very well change the chemicals in your brain to make you feel something good.
Oh my
So
goodness, yeah. Like there was never a moment playing Astro Bot that I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of over this."
even yeah, and
I
even when
I
I
would
was
love to play this game in perpetuity. Like it's just one of those fun games to play.
yeah, exactly, and it's something I would look forward to coming home every day. It's like I'm gonna play some Astro Bot. I'm gonna go to bed soon, but I want to play some Astro Bot, and it scratches, like I said, this itch that I didn't even know I had, and I'm glad it did because it re-energized my love for this industry and this just games as a whole, because right now it's a hellhole. It's a hellhole in this industry, and we're all
Mhm.
suffering for it. I mean, media's being attacked by everyone. I mean, developers are being attacked, they're being harassed, and then you have Team ASOBI. It's like, well, we're gonna bring people together with this amazing game, and like I really hope it does, because like it's like a fractured world, and that's kind of ironic, and that's what Astro's doing. He's just fixing a shattered world, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, there really is something
What parallels? Yeah,
delightful to just play a charming game, resonates with you, like kind of calls back to your childhood, and it not be bogged down by seriousness. I mean, PlayStation for good reason has built a reputation of this is the angry dad simulator. This is the very gritty narrative based game, and to kind of see them go back to their roots in so many ways and say, no, this is a 3D charming, delightful little platformer. I I'm all for it, and I think this is great for a future generation of people who might not might be kind of turned off by the PlayStation, knowing it's the Last of Us machine, Horizon machine, and stuff like that. But for people who are maybe younger audiences on a Nintendo Switch now, thinking, well, maybe I'm in for a second console. This is a great example of no, come over to the PlayStation ecosystem. there's lots to play here, and it doesn't always have to be, you know, so dire. It doesn't always have to be, you know, gritty as Ghost of Tsushima or as gritty as The Last of Us Part 2. It can be something else.
This is exactly what it is. It's the anti Tsushima. It's the anti Last of Us. It is the most. It's the furthest thing you could play from those games, and like I feel like that's what this era needs. It's just lighthearted, colorful games, no open world, just levels of fun, and it's just a one and done. You play it, you feel good, you put it away, and you come back to it when you're ready. It's one of those games where I feel you're gonna be coming back to it every so often, just because like it's so tight, it's so well crafted. It is a product of love, and it just makes you feel good when you're playing it. So it's like, why not come back to it in the future when you're feeling down?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like not once I felt frustrated, even if I was stuck in a section, because it's kind of challenging. Surprisingly, I thought it would be a walk in the park, but there are some later stuff that I was like, whoa, this is pretty tough. And more so to your point, like you have those levels, like in every galaxy, there's like 4 or 5 levels where there's no checkpoints. You got to do start to finish.
Yeah, like the challenge rooms and
the
stuff.
challenge rooms are amazing, and
they're super fun.
They're fun, but they're doable. It's not like I was ever at a point where I was like, this is too frustrating, I'll come back. It was just like, well, it's just learning to get the movements down. Like you just, you know, get that down, and you get your Astro Bot.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it is perfectly crafted to a lot of people's needs. Like you get a game that short, sweet, not overly challenging, but challenging. It's colorful, it's memorable, it's everything you'd want. It's like it's a Billy Miner pie of gaming.
I like that. Yeah,
it's the Billy Miner pie of gaming. That's what I feel like I was eating this week.
One thing I do want to talk about is kind of some of the level design, and we kind of talked about it. You know, there's the challenge rooms that you can kind of unlock, and they're super short and sweet to get through if you nail the timing, nail the platforming, and everything like that. But even just the individual levels that you're going through, like obviously this game entices you to touch and feel everything, kind of explore and interact with everything just to see the secrets, unlock the bots and the puzzle pieces, the coins and stuff like that. But when you really think about it, like every level could theoretically be run through in 2-3 minutes maximum.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm really looking forward to, and they've already kind of talked about it, is like the post-launch content of trial run or like time trials and stuff like that. I can't wait to see, or to even try it myself, of like how fast can I get through some of these more difficult levels, because the platforming in this game is so tight and so much fun.
It's insane.
I can't wait to like get on the leaderboards with like you and Matt and Core and stuff like that, and just kind of see who can run through these the fastest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Like it's not every day I want to do challenge boards or any of that, but I mean, this is something I'm looking forward to, because you hit that stride in Astro Bot and you're like, I can do it. I can do anything with it, with this character. And if the leaderboards are as what Nicholas said, they're new levels and like there are new ways to challenge you, I'm down. I'll be there day one. I'll be there, playing until I get the highest score out of everyone. And then talk about it. It's just it's a great little water cooler game. You can sit and talk about it every week. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I do wonder beyond that whether or not there's much support that's going to be made for this, because I would again love coming back every 2-3 months and being like, okay, here's a new galaxy, here's a new incentive to jump in. I mean, heck, they even went in and started putting other hidden bots in Astro's Playroom. So it seems like they're building this kind of precedent of returning to the game, never having it uninstalled or never leaving your game bar on the PlayStation 5. And I really like that idea of always playing Astro Bot, always having Astro Bot around for the next year, maybe. I don't know, but I want more. As greedy as I am being right now, I just want more of this game. I know we already put our time in quickly with it, but yeah, this game is just something else. This game is something really special.
Yeah, and more so to the point. I know we only had a week with the review period, but I didn't feel rushed. I've never felt like I'm down to the wire on like an embargo, and compare it to Star Wars Outlaws and the reception that game got. Um, I just feel like a week is enough time for a game of this caliber. A week for Star Wars Outlaws is a death sentence. So like
Sure.
I feel like everything kind of fell into place with Astro Bot, like the timing, the gameplay, like obviously what we experienced, how PlayStation handled it with media. It's just like, well, we know it's kind of close, but the game's like 10 hours, so you could get this game done and written in a week. And I felt no pressure with this game. Like even writing review, even our video review, like none of it felt pressured compared to say Star Wars Outlaws. We were down to the wire on that. I feel like there was just a lot of sleepless nights to get that game out on time, and that hurts everybody. So yeah, it's having the goodwill of trusting the media to get the game out on time without overstepping boundaries, and that's what I feel Astro Bot is. It's non-invasive to our time. It's actually counter to that. So it's like, it's great. Everything about this game is great. Like everything kind of just was handed off at the right time. I feel good about this game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone else thinks about it when it goes live in a day. It feels like we're literally one day away from this game, and it's surprising that it was only a reveal 3 months ago.
No, that's crazy when you really put that into perspective, is that it was just the start of the summer when we first heard about this game, and here we are.
And like that's a playbook, that's a page out of Nintendo's playbook, right? Like they don't announce anything until it's basically done, and they're a couple months out from launch. So it's a good way to draw people in. It's a good way to keep the hype and momentum going, and it works. Like legitimately, in 3 months, I've gone from 0 to 60, and I'm so hyped for this game, and it's incredible. And it doesn't overstay its welcome. Everything has been so meticulously planned. I feel like from the marketing, it falls into place, and it comes in waves. Like you're like, well, I forgot about Astro Bot, but here it is again. Here's another trailer, and it looks incredible. And then it comes down again, and it's like, well, here's the launch trailer, and you're about to play it in 2 days. So have fun. So yeah, everything's been great about this game. Like I just feel really good about it, and it's rare these days to just say I feel really good about a game, because there's no pressure. I mean, we've got everything done in time, and yeah, it just comes down to it. It was fun. It was ultimately so much fun. There was no underlying messages. It was just pure unadulterated fun for 12, 15 hours.
Yeah, no, I 1000% agree. I think it's funny when I was first going through the first level, I was like, could this run a little thin? Like, can this premise, the gameplay loop, can this kind of get ham-fisted? Can this kind of, and yeah, that quickly went away, where I was like, no, this is actually very well put together. This is very thoughtful, meaningful. Everything about this just fires on all cylinders.
And what's more surprising is none of the levels even were remotely similar. Like everything had a unique pull. You had like a unique hook to it, and even if there was a return to like a previous power, it was implemented in a different way that I loved. So it's like, here's your tool set. Here's what you think you can do with it, but no, we're gonna add this to it just on the side because we want to keep you entertained this entire time. And more so it comes down to like later levels. Like there are some really cool power-ups that you get. I'm like, this is so cool. And I think it was like World 3. I was just like, yeah, I'm not getting tired of this game. I think World 3 was there's a lot of Japanese levels in there, the Japanese inspired levels, and I was like, what they did with some of the elements was really cool. And then you never see them again, and then they come back later, and it's like, whoa, they really did this in a new way, and it feels refreshing compared to what it was used in previous levels.
No, I completely agree. I think what's so funny is that there are obviously levels that are themed or wrapped around like the traditional kind of platforming. You have one in the sky, you have a haunted mansion, but but every single one of them feels fresh and unique. I mean, the only one that I will say still frustrates me, and not even Team ASOBI can sway me on this, underwater levels still just don't hit right with me. But aside from that, all of them were spectacular.
I was okay. Sorry. I was okay with those. I honestly, even underwater levels, like a little bit of resistance. I didn't like them at first, but then it was just like there's this click. I was like, whoa, okay. I liked the bubble power up. I liked using that to get around, and then I don't know. He just controls well underwater too. It's like there's no resistance to fight the controls. Like, even the camera cooperated surprisingly underwater for me. So I mean, I guess it's just preference. My thing is I don't like jungle levels.
Sure.
I'd rather have underwater than jungle. I don't know what it
Okay.
is. Never like jungle levels, but
But I think that's the strong suit about this game is that there's a little bit of everything, and just when you think, okay, I'm kind of done with the cloud level, 5 hours later, another one will show up, but by then it feels fresh and unique again. And it's not that you're going through it the same way; it's another interesting spin. It's just kind of thematically the same, and I really like that. I really appreciate it.
yep, that's what it comes down to. But yeah, ultimately, I feel that the next game can't come soon enough. I feel we're at this point where it's about to come out. I really hope Sony goes running with this, and God forbid whatever happened to Concord doesn't happen to Astro Bot, because I feel like he is the future of the next 5 to 6 years of the platform. Put him in everything. Give him his own game. Make him the new Mario. Put him in
Yeah.
RPGs. Put him in sports games. Let him be the face of PlayStation. Make PlayStation a place to have fun again. I feel like with Jim Ryan's era, that was lost. So I feel like with the shakeup of the CEO and new honchos, this is the time to bring back the fun-loving Sony that I grew up loving, and that ties into Sony's history, right? PlayStation's history. It was the PlayStation, right? It wasn't a workstation. The whole thing it's a PlayStation. You sit down here and you play games, you have fun. Bring that notion back to the forefront. Like,
Yeah.
let Astrobot cook. Let him have fun. Sitting down with this game, it's just like I said, it re-energizes your soul and you feel like a kid. So it's like, bring that experience to people every couple of years. I feel like that's what this world needs. I think that's what we all need, is just a recharge to our internal battery to just feel pure joy for a couple hours. And this is what I feel this game is offering to the world, is just that notion of unadulterated joy. It's just like this, like I said, it's a beam of light from the heavens. It
No,
really is.
absolutely. Yeah.
And like I said, I don't want it to make it feel like it's hyperbole, but this is me on the other end of Astro Bot. I've played it. You've played it. You know what I'm talking about. People who haven't played it, you will see what we're talking about after you sit down and play the first world.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it comes down to.
No,
You
no,
have to play
I
to believe it.
that's it, because I do think that so much of its charm are in those micro moments that we kind of talked about, whether it's playing with the DualSense, feeling that reverberation, that haptic feedback, or seeing a beloved character just pop up surprisingly, or just even seeing, like, there are so many moments where it just gives homage to PlayStation in general. Like, I just love seeing the organic ways that they incorporate, the face buttons into the levels, or the colors, the color palette of PlayStation as well. And I think there's just so much to celebrate, that no matter how you're coming into Astro Bot, there's a little bit to take away there. And I think you would have to be a cold-hearted, dead corpse to be jaded about Astro Bot in any way. Although I will say, I mean, I think that, not that I personally agree with it, but I do think that out there could be an argument to be made about the value proposition of the price tag. I mean, in Canada, it's upwards of $60, and that's a lot for a 12-hour experience, whether or not that's valuable to you. But for me, I mean, granted, we were given codes from PlayStation, but I think it's worth every penny, just personally.
Oh, 100%. Like, honestly, I feel like that notion needs to be gone out. It needs to be thrown out the window. I mean, if you're comparing, um, like a core memory, something that you can remember for years down the line, by how much you're paying for it, like, that's not the whole point. That's not the point of creating new memories. You're just not getting what you need. So like there's obviously older games you can play and you can enjoy. If you want something that's new, intuitive, it's unlike anything you've ever played before, then you play Astro Bot. You put your money to support these developers. You're not just putting your money there. You're not just wasting your money. You're putting it to support people who are making these games. These are the people who created such a unique game. So it's like give them the money. And I feel like even if it was $100, I would pay it because it's done a lot for me. I feel, and I know that we got codes, but I mean, I also put my money where my mouth is. I bought a copy. I have the controller. I'm buying. I bought the controller, so it's like, yeah, I'm supporting them in other ways. Like you and I, we probably, we are not probably, we are lucky. We're blessed to have these games for free, but we also put the time in, and we buy things that we want that to support these people. And I know that's what we've always done, right? So I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely that resonates, and I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
Um,
don't look at it as a waste of money because if
no,
that's what you're looking at anything, like honestly, you're not going to have any fun. Money is a tool, so like if it's also meant for people who know, money is like I said, it's there to get you things that you need and you want. So
that's
if that's something you need and you don't want, then you can wait for a sale. But like the people who are there day one are going to have the same experience you are, but they're just going to be first in line. Who cares? Like that's not a big deal. So if you have to wait, but like this is something you need to experience at some point. And I'm sure even Sony's probably going to put this on PlayStation Plus in a year, and I feel like it's such an enlightening experience. Like you should just just sacrifice that money once. It's a one-time investment, I feel. And that's what this is. I feel like it's an investment to recharge your life, recharge your soul.
No, I agree. I agree. It did recharge me. It brought me a sense of wonder and joy. It brought me back to a place
Yeah,
where gaming was just, about fun. Not that it always needs to be. I mean, gaming can resonate with you in all sorts of ways, but it did bring me back to that pure childlike wonder and fun. And yeah, I just the timing of it could not be better given what it just happened with Concord. I mean, PlayStation executives must be giddy at the fact that they are sitting on a bona fide win right now.
yeah.
Yep.
I if Sony, if you're listening to this, just greenlight a second game. Give Team ASOBI just whatever they want. Elevate them, rub their backs, give them coffee, buy them food, buy them dinner, buy them flowers. They deserve it. They've created something that is so necessary, not only for the gaming world, but for just humanity in general. It's the We Are the World of 2024. It's that song that brought all those celebrities together to deliver a message in
That's so
1993.
funny. That's that's such a funny visual.
It's the We Are the World of
That's
2024 of the
I love that. I'm kind of curious because you talked about a potential sequel and stuff like that. Because this is something that I'm kind of trying to wrap my head around or
yeah,
and kind of coalesce with is do you think that they can or should make a sequel and go super hard on it being a PlayStation legacy characters in here it's giving homage to consoles stuff like that,
right.
or do you think that Astro Bot should and could have legs to stand on its own and just be here's Astro Bot, we're building out his lore, we're building out his character, his world and stuff like that, or do you think that it's always kind of intrinsically tied to PlayStation?
I mean, if they can make Kratos for one of the most vile characters in games and become, the mascot he is and this redeemed character, they can do whatever they want. I mean, that's kind of what I feel is he can stand on his own. Astro Bot doesn't need the mascots, but if they're gonna do that, they have to really make the idea work. Like it has to be something really good. And if that's the case, I mean, give Astro Bot, give him a new genre.
That's a great idea, actually.
Give him a
I
new genre.
love that idea of
Don't even do another
yeah.
platform or do something else. Go open world, Astro Bot.
Or sports, like you mentioned before.
Sure. I mean, he's a mascot
Astro
for all
tennis.
ages, right? Astro tennis, Astro pinball, Astro tabletop tennis. Like legitimately, the ideas are all there. But give him another genre. Go with something so out of left field, but make it good. Make it
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, because that is where I come down on it, is
You know
like,
what? You know what? Actually, let's do this.
yeah,
PlayStation VR 2. I don't know, Sony, if you've heard about the PSVR 2. Make an Astro Rescue Mission Part 2.
there you go. Yeah.
Use the character that became famous on VR to sell your VR units. I mean, the idea is there.
An
It's like,
idea.
honestly.
Yeah.
And I think you and I might be on the same page. I know it's the best VR experience I've ever had.
It's up there for sure. Yeah, it's definitely one of my preferred ones from the original
It's so unique.
PSVR. Yeah.
There's nothing else I've ever played like it was even similar to it. Like there are games like Moss
Yeah.
or the closest thing I say is like Asgard's Wrath, like
Sure.
stuff like that. Like that's the closest experience I had to like being a really true unique VR experience outside of this. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Talk to us. I mean, Team ASOBI, Sony,
Call us.
email
We have
us. We'll
ideas.
call. Yeah, like we have ideas. We can brainstorm. We're
Always,
here
yeah.
for you.
That's it. Well, yeah, let us give you our services. No, because I do struggle to, because this game does go so hard in the ways that it does, and does so with such a successful degree. I do struggle to think about, okay, if they're doing a sequel, could they pull this off again? Just because this is such a, you know, a great top to bottom experience with the characters. Like, then how many more can you even fit in here? How many more homages to the PlayStation 1 generation can you do? How can you put the PlayStation 5 on another pedestal as you did this time around? It's like, but I do think that, yeah, maybe the potential is another genre. Maybe it is something completely different. And I'm eager and excited to see what Team ASOBI does next, because they've already proved themselves to be just masters in the platforming genre.
Yeah, and
Astro Bot really solidified that for me.
that's exactly what it comes down to. Like they're masters of their craft, and if they could do this in 4 years, can you imagine what they could do in another 4 years? Like,
Yeah, with a
honestly,
small team too, a considerable, like I think 80 people worked on this game, something like that.
yeah.
That's
I
that's
know
light for many studios these days.
I know we'll never see like the figures behind, you know, what went into making this game, but like I would love to know the stats and see what it cost them.
Yep.
Because honestly, as high quality of this game as I feel like Team ASOBI knows how to put their money to work and, you know, keep things tight for budgets. So I would love to see the output on that, like what it costs to just, you know, deliver this game, because like it honestly plays better than 90% of what we've played this year. I know for sure for me. This is a very unique experience. I mean, I'll take this over any open world any day.
No, absolutely. Something tight, curated, every detail matters. I yeah, 1000% agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I have all the faith in this team. Like going forward, yeah, do it. Do your job, guys. Do what you were born to do and make the world a better place. That's what I'm leaving this review with. I feel like that's where I want to leave it with, is you guys, Team ASOBI, thank you. Like honestly, this game is like very special to me. I feel like what you've delivered is just like healed my soul. So I keep saying that, but it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders this weekend, and it's just unreal to feel this from like a game of all things, right? It's you know, usually like a movie or a book for a lot of people, but it's been a long time since a game like just resonated with me in a way that no other medium can do it. Like 15 years maybe in the running for a game that's kind of like, whoa, this is why I play games. This is what games are all about.
No, I love that, and no, I echo that completely. I think Team ASOBI really knocked it out of the park. It really outdid itself in terms of like my expectations. I went into it thinking, yeah, we're going to get more of the same. It's just going to be kind of larger, you know, longer experience, and then yeah, we're going to get some cameos that that charm and wonder will kind of fade away after a couple hours. And 12 hours in, when I was reaching credits, when I was hitting the last of the platinum run there, nothing changed. This game just stole my heart completely.
Yep. Heartbreaker, because now it's over and now we
I
gotta
know,
wait.
right? And that was the thing where even as I was reaching the credits, it was rolling. I was like, okay, I got a few more trophies to kind of clean up and everything. I was like, okay, I'm gonna tap this for as much as I could. And yeah, 12 hours just came and went. But I don't take it for granted. I don't think I've rushed through this experience. I don't think that like I did Team ASOBI or the game a disservice. I think that I took it in as just as meaningful as I needed to, and that was enough for me.
Yep.
Yeah. Bobby, was there anything else we did not cover that you wanted to touch on?
No, I mean, there's so many things I feel like we can probably talk about when the game's out and people have played it. But for now, I mean, the game's out September 6th. Go play it. Honestly, we're giving it editor's choice on the website, so that is probably like the highest honor we can give it. It is one of those must plays. You must own this game. Just support these developers. They made this for you with love, and like if you don't feel that, like I'm sorry, your mother doesn't love you.
Hey, no disagreements here. Yeah, no, I appreciate everyone tuning in for this episode. We had a blast playing Astro Bot. And hopefully, Bobby, hopefully by the next time we sit down together, you will have that Astro Bot Platy. Definitely get it. It's a great platinum to get, rewarding one. But yeah, Bobby, if people wanted to find the written review for Astro Bot, keep up with the website, keep up with you online, where could they do so?
You can find me at consolecreatures.com. Our written reviews there. And we have a video review going live today. So yeah, check it out on our YouTube channel with thanks to Matt who covered that, and he did a really great job.
Amazing. Yeah. And as for me, you can find me across the internet at svigvari. Yeah, and we appreciate everyone taking the time to listen to our Astro Bot review. We'll be back again next week with more, but we appreciate you all, and until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.